Hi everyone, this is Alexia Landa. Welcome back to the Forecast Podcast. I have faith everyone's having a really good week, even if there's something tough going on. A good week doesn't mean that something is just perfect, because at the end of the day, what is perfect? It just means that divinely you're connecting to purpose and that this purpose, whatever it is that you're meant to connect to, it's taking you into the right direction of whatever your timeline needs, whatever divine timing has to give you, whatever it is that you need to receive in the now. And if it involves more than just one person, how it is helping all of you and connecting all of you into this higher power, higher perspective, higher vibration. So I hope everyone is really enjoying their week so far. Today, I'm going to be talking about abundance because for the next 9 days, that's going to be the focus abundance. But I'm going to separate abundance from prosperity because usually people think of abundance as prosperity. And also, we're going to connect to the tool of lack because lack is a tool. And this tool is so powerful. It is just it gives you so much, and I don't think it's noticed. And today we're going to notice it together because we're going to connect to its power, because everything has power, everything is divine, everything has purpose, everything is connected to a blessing, a miracle, a blessing in disguise. So for the next 9 days, it's like you're going to see your harvest. Everything that you planted is going to start coming out. It's going to give life. And by me saying you planted, it can be 6 months ago, 3 years ago. It could also be from past lives. It could also be something that you might had planted just as something that you view life as, and you need a change, and you're seeing your seeds just grow and how they're coming out into the light, and maybe you want them to you just want to see your harvest differently. Instead of lack, you're going to use lack as a tool and exchange it for abundance. But first, we really need to nurture and fall in love with lack. And falling in love with lack means that you're going to make everything you have enough. Everything you have is always enough. It is always exactly what you need. But we're going to get a little bit into energy and vibration and how it works, because I always say I don't like the word attracting. Because when you attract, you seek and you attach. And attachment is not a way of living, because then there is obsession, then there are rules, then there might be this pattern that just doesn't let you go through evolution. So instead, we're going to talk about connection. And connecting to an energy, to a vibration, means that you have this foundation of tools that you know when to use and when not to use. So that means you are truly connected to constant change if needed, and that you have certain habits that create a lifestyle. And these habits that create a lifestyle doesn't mean that you always do things a certain way at a certain time. It just means that those tools are used to understanding what habits make you happy in the now. That can change tomorrow, can change in a year, it can change in 3 months. It all depends. And these habits that you need, which truly nurture your physical body, nurture your mind, nurture your heart. So I want you to think of this as I need to nurture my feelings, my emotions. They're very different. I always talk about how they're different. I need to nurture my mind, my thoughts. I need to nurture my physical body. So I want everyone to kind of see how you're nurturing each. Because when you nurture them, you start connecting to the energy that you want, the vibration that you want. Now, let's talk about vibration. Vibration is very connected to the tools. And before they become tools, they're an emotion that you choose. Remember, emotion is energetic motion. So it is a choice, it is something that you decide that you want, that it's the way you want to react. So these emotions, as you're choosing them, they become your vibration. They become the vibration of your voice, of how you are presenting yourself. And there is no right or wrong way, sorry. There's no right or wrong way. It is more of how am I how am I going to choose my energy today to react on life, which is what do I need today? So every day you have to choose what do you need. That's why every day I share an intention, and then I share what tools connect to that intention, because the intention gives direction to your emotions, which is the reaction, which is the action. And those tools are connected to it. For example, if you say, well, my tool of today is self awareness, then your reaction is going to be very self aware, which means your emotion is going to be self aware. And maybe you say, well, I want my emotion to be detached, because if I'm going to be self-aware, I don't want to be attaching to taking things personal. I don't want to be attaching to trying to understand everyone, but instead I'm going to communicate and ask. That's being self-aware. Communication, saying, hey, what did you mean with that? Because I don't want to be playing this whole scene in my mind instead of communicating and asking. So that's self-awareness. That's the tool of self-awareness. So that's choosing your vibration. And vibration has different levels, and these levels is not, again, it's not good or bad. It's just what you're going to connect to. If your vibration is joy, you're going to be connected to joy. If your vibration is sadness, you're going to connect to sadness. But it doesn't mean that you are um, connecting to something that is bad because it's sadness. It might be that you are truly just needing to nurture that sadness. Instead of thinking of sadness as, oh, it's going to bring something bad, I want everyone to understand that it's not that it brings something bad, it's that it connects you to the same thing. And sometimes connecting to those emotions, it's necessary to let go, to truly embrace and embody whatever you need from that tool, and then move on to the next one. The problem is when you over identify with an emotion and then you make it your day to day and you keep it forever. And you're like, well, it's because this emotion just makes me feel safe. That's attachment. So when you're vibrating at a certain emotion that you decide, that you choose because that is what you need, because you're ready to nurture yourself, that's the frequency you're in. And usually, the feeling of sadness, you can connect it to the frequency of peace. Because if you start nurturing the feeling of sadness and you say, okay, but I'm peaceful that I'm nurturing it, I'm peaceful that I feel peace that I get to even experience the feeling of sadness with vulnerability without feeling shame or guilt that I'm doing this. So you go very neutral into the peace, very because neutrality is not peace, neutrality is balance. So then you start truly understanding how to be your own team internally. And this is very connected to abundance. But first, we're going to talk about lack. Lack is one of the most important tools because it shows you what you need to be giving to yourself. So, for example, if you feel like you're lacking love, then you have to learn how to give yourself love. And the reason why I explain the whole thing about vibration and emotions and how you decide and how you choose and how you first feel, because first the feeling comes in and you're the one that decides what to do with that feeling, what emotion to connect it to. So when you talk about lack, when you connect to lack, that means that you don't know what to do with that feeling. Maybe that feeling is loneliness. Well, how are you going to nurture loneliness? Are you going to convert it are you going to decide that the emotion is frustration or, what else connects to loneliness? maybe the emotion of sadness, maybe the emotion of why me, so victimization, all these different emotions. So if you're feeling lonely, you get to decide what emotion you connected to, what energetic motion, which is going to lead to the reaction, which is going to lead to the vibration that you're going to carry, that's going to connect you to whatever it is that you are vibrating in. So if you feel lonely and you want to connect to community, to partnership, to friendship, then what emotion do you think you need? So this is when you use the tool of lack. This is when you say, okay, if I feel lonely and I feel like I'm lacking something or someone or a relationship that's very specific, then I have to connect it to the emotion of abundance. What do I have? Well, I have the love I can give. I have the care I can give. I have the presence I can give. I have the fun I can give. So what do? You start connecting to those emotions of, I'm really fun. Let's connect to joy and fun. What connects me? How can I connect to joy and fun? What makes me laugh? Well, I love to dance. Okay, I'm gonna go dance. What does that give me? Joy. So you then turn into habits. You understand that there are certain habits that connect you to that emotion and that vibration. And then you convert them into tools. So the tool of lack, it's not something that is bad. It's not something that takes away something from you. It's something that is showing you where you have to pay attention. So it's one of the most important tools when it comes to understanding how to connect to something. And that's when you become the co creator of your life. And that is abundance. Because then you start understanding how your energy works and you start understanding what you can do with your energy. You don't try to manifest anymore. Because manifestation is telling the whole world, give me what I want. Co creation is, I know what I need and I know how to truly connect to that vibration to be in that space that I want to be. There's a huge difference. Manifestation is going to try to control, it's trying to be very specific, trying to say, this is exactly what I want. Co creation is really going to take you into a space of understanding divine timing and also understanding that maybe what you thought you wanted is not what you need, and what you need looks completely different, but it actually fulfills you. It actually truly gives you everything you need. And that's why we have to understand that as humans, we are in a self discovery experience. Every tool that you pick up on, it's an activation within you that shows you who you are every single day. And when you start understanding that abundance connected to prosperity, which prosperity is that side of money, is truly just the energy and the vibration that you're carrying, then you start paying attention to what's going on inside and how to be your own team instead of attacking yourself and trying to just fix yourself. I always tell my clients, you're not here to be fixed. You're not here to change. You're actually here to become you again. This is about being you. That's why when I say BBU school, understanding the beauty of new beginnings, at the end of the day, all BBU says is be you. And this new beginning that life gives us the opportunity to have whenever we want. Whenever we want a rebirth, we can go through it. And by the way, it's not a shadow. It's actually so much light that it becomes uncomfortable because it's so vulnerable that you need so much truth. So it's not about walking into a shadow. It's about giving yourself light that awakens everything and you're like, oh, this is everything I was avoiding. So that's what it's about. Because there's this pattern I see when I do readings, when I work with people in the program, and it's the phrase, I know. And we've all been here, the I know. And I always say, as humans, we're students. So we shouldn't know better. parents and grandparents and anyone who's older than you, and then maybe you start using this phrase is, I know better because I've experienced. And yes, there are situations that are very grounded and very logical that you say, hey, I know what's about to happen, so just listen to me. That's normal, that's good. But then there are things that we have to understand that people have a different experience in. They're here to learn different things. So when people say, I know, I say, wait, but do you feel? Are you feeling? Because that's completely different. And that's completely different than being emotional, by the way. When they say, do you feel, is, are you truly listening to yourself? Or are you just afraid so you connect to the emotion of stagnation and perfectionism and saying, no, I know, instead of letting yourself detach, flow, and experience? Having that self trust of, I'm learning, I'm a student. That's abundance. Why? Because you open up your heart to receiving from life. You open up your heart to saying, okay, I'm being guided. Where am I going next? Because I feel that I need change, but I'm still waiting for guidance. I don't know what's next. Okay, maybe you don't know what's next because you have to go through this self discovery moment. So, what do you feel? And what is your now giving you? Because you always have enough. Lack is you're not paying attention to your surroundings. You're not paying attention to everything that's around you. Everything has an answer, everything has a blessing, everything has enough. And from that, you start co creating, which then amplifies your energy and makes up space for more because you're open to, since I have all of this, what more can I have then? Instead of feeling righteous of, well, I work so hard, why don't I have more? It's like, yes, but you work externally. What about internally? What's going on internally? What are you avoiding? So you start flowing in life more. You start truly becoming the co-creator that you came here to be, instead of just feeding yourself with, they did that, I should do that. I always say the reason why I'm not too specific about what I do in my practices is because they're going to be very different from yours. What I do is share the formula to become a co-creator, to become someone who actions with all the tools they have, with all the wisdom you have, to truly connect to what is yours, because what is mine won't be yours. Authenticity is one of the biggest powers we have as humans. There's a reason why, although we are one, we get to see the individuality. And it's not about attaching to the individuality, because this is borrowed, by the way. Being human, having this physical body, you can see it as, oh, it's borrowed. It was borrowed from earth, from the elements, and I'm the spirit having the experience, and I give this body life, and I'm just going to take the wisdom with me. I'm just going to take the experience with me. So it's not about attaching to the individuality, it's about understanding it in a way that you feel, because the feeling is your spirit speaking. And that you connect then to the emotion, to the thoughts, to the co creation. If you live in the emotional world, if you're in that emotional body all the time, then everything ends up being very big and exaggerated and dramatic, and either you are in the superhero role or you're a victim. But when you start feeling and discerning, you go down, you ground, you touch the ground, and you understand the language of your spirit, because that's what your spirit wants, for you to ground the information, not to just give it to the emotional world where every reaction is unpredictable and you don't know what's next. Instead of truly becoming that co-creator of, I do know what's next. I don't know externally what's next, but internally, I do know what's next. And you start feeling that control of your inner world instead of wanting control of the external world, that sometimes it's co-created in a way that you're trying to control people, you're trying to control their love language, you're trying to control how people view you, their opinions. So that's what feeds anxiety. Instead, you detach and you connect to yourself, which is all you have control of. And whenever you lose that control of the inner world and you're in this limbo, it's because you're in this transformation phase. And that's a tool as well. So for the next 9 days, abundance is a big, big thing. And it all starts with how you are vibrating. Again, if you're sad, it's not bad if you feel sad. But what emotion are you going to choose to transform it into something that has purpose? Into something that's really going to just give you everything and show you that power in that sadness. Show you the purpose for that sadness. So it's that willpower that you start activating of, I do have a choice. I do not have to be saved. I am not a victim. I am strong enough to be a co-creator. And remember, I always say the universe is a mirror. So if you ask the universe, it'll give you whatever vibration you're in. But if you ask yourself and you co-create it and you don't wait for it to be manifested, your actions are going to add up day by day, like saying 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 until you get to 100, and it adds up into something. And then you understand how you materialize things instead of waiting for the universe. Then you understand what you are. Then you understand you're a co-creator. And yes, you're dancing in a life that there's external manifestation. Because again, the universe is a mirror, so it sends everything and anything. And if we live in a non-duality world, then you're going to see everything and anything because this is a school. But if you focus on that non-duality, you stop seeing things as good or bad, and you balance yourself into that feeling of, I understand what peace is to me, and I understand how to make purpose out of everything, and I understand what truly safety is to me. Because safety is not about your energy is negative, please don't hurt me. Safety is I don't judge you, so I don't absorb. That's true safety when it comes to energy. When it comes to seeing those people around you that you know they're going through a different lesson, don't judge them. Don't try to understand them. Don't try to save them. Be an example. That's the only way you can truly be in the non-duality and not carry their energy. Being an example of, I'm not a victim. I have compassion and I have empathy, but I see the strength in you. I believe in you. You can do it. You don't have to push them because that's not your job to do. You don't have to carry them, but you do have to believe in them because that's the biggest gift you can give someone. If they're at their lowest point, but you look at them right in the eye and you say, I know you can still do it. What can I help you with? But the rest you have to do it yourself. Maybe all you can help with is just sitting there and listening. Don't try to play teacher. Don't try to play mom. The other day, I was thinking of how sometimes trying is really just, it really just gives your divine masculine the sense of unworthiness. Because when you try and you try and you try, your divine masculine starts feeling like nothing it does is enough. And your divine feminine never receives anything because since you're just trying and nothing is enough, when is it feeling like, oh, I did a good job today? So don't try, just be. Don't try to make people happy. They can only make themselves happy. Instead, be happy. Be peaceful. Be in that vibration. No one can take you down from that. only if you're trying to change them. When people tell me, well, it's because I'm surrounded by just very negative people. Okay, it can be tiring if you are trying to change them. But if you actually connect to purpose and compassion and empathy, you just look at them and you're like, wow, that's their experience. Okay. I've been there. Okay. I see what's going on and I know they'll connect. When my clients email me about something, instead of giving them all the answers, if they're in the program and we're working together, I give them the root cause. I tell them you need a ground. You need to go grounding. You need to ground your thoughts. You need to connect back to you. They have the tools. They have sessions when we've talked about it. They're usually part of BB's school, and there's sessions that we talk about how to ground. They have the tools, and they're self-aware. So I don't save them. Why? Because I believe people are supposed to be independent. I know that we have the wisdom to connect. And also, I believe everyone should activate that sense of being a student of, I remember, where is it? Where's the information? Because that activates the co-creation of excitement, of living, of not being a victim, of not being life's victim. Because you're not. You're here to experience and you're here to co-create this amazing love that you carry within. That's the biggest power of any human. Free will, love, and truly understanding that you're more than this. And the evolution is activating everything. And evolution is not, I'm going to look different tomorrow or I'm going to be more tomorrow. That's lack mentality. It's knowing that here and now you're abundant. And learning more doesn't make you more than anyone or anything, but rather it gives your spirit a higher voice, a louder voice. And that's what you want. To be an example, to be you, to just feel peace. And these next 9 days is about that. It's about truly connecting this abundance to everything you have and understanding that everything you have is everything you need. You might want more, and that's a good thing. You need to have goals, you need to have commitment to things. But here and now, what you have is enough because it's part of your story, and without it, you won't get to that highest potential. So connect. Don't seek, don't attract, connect. And that's the highest power you can give yourself, connection. Just connect to yourself, be your team. Don't try. Just flow. And besides these next 9 days, try to connect to compassion. Don't try to correct everyone. Don't try to, again, don't be in the constant motion of who's wrong so I can feel okay that I'm right. Because that's very common. And right now the energy is showing that. Even if you see things in anywhere where there's two extremes, you see how everyone's just trying to blame. So pay attention to your thoughts. How do you blame yourself? How do you blame others? How do you assume? Assumption is just trying to make up a truth. But the truth, you can see it clearly. Very clearly when you feel, when you're grounded, and you're not in the emotional world. And I hope everyone enjoys their week. I have faith that everyone's really going to connect to abundance these next 9 days. And abundance is receiving. Learn how to receive from yourself so then you can receive from others. And there can be an equal exchange in every scenario. And equal exchange doesn't mean that I give you $1, you give me $1 back. It means maybe I give you 100, and then 6 months later when I need them, you give me back 100. So don't measure, just feel and understand and notice everyone's love language. It's different. Your love language is needed for you, but maybe you need someone else's different love language and you haven't noticed and you're trying to change them. So truly embrace and embody what your love language is and learn how to receive the love language of others. Don't try to control, okay? I hope everyone enjoys everything. Just enjoy everything. Even those things that might seem like hardships, they just come in with blessings. And I'm sending so much love and light to everyone. Enjoy, have fun, feel peace, and speak next week, okay?